Greetings, Patrick here. Eight questions with is the first of two shows tonight here on Thursday. Uh, yeah. So in a few minutes we'll have our good friend Rick Mallin will come up here, and we'll be talking about his film career, see where he's at. He's got two films that we're going to be talking to him about, among many other things. Um, we're going to be talking about a movie called Serial that he has done. And we'll also talk about the sequel to One Night Rental called Two Night Rental. And we'll see where that's at. Um, yeah, so yeah, it's very exciting. Very excited to talk to Rick again. And in fact, I'm actually it's sort of funny. Like I just right before I went up here, I just heard from a friend who was commenting about some former guests that came on there, and they got into a bit of a trouble, a little bit of a hot spot in old Chi Town. Um, it is a dangerous time, uh, and as a matter of fact, um, me and Ricky, we have gone from talking from just inane stuff to we've been talking a little bit more deeper things, and he's a smart guy, and he's he's he really is. He's very smart. He's well read, and the most important thing is that I find what I really like about him and being his friend is that he's open minded, um, and he's not I really enjoy talking to him off camera. A lot of people forget that Ricky not only is a fun loving YouTuber, and a rising actor, but he's also a family man. He's got a wife and kids, uh, and you know, in today's world, you can't be afraid to you can't be afraid to use common sense. It's easy to jump on a bandwagon and yelling all in one chorus. A lot of times, people will be they'll be yelling, but they don't know what they're yelling at. Only thing they know is that they're seeing other people do it. I guess that's what they call FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Uh, but sometimes when that happens, you find yourself going down the wrong track. Um, and, I was just talking to our friend beforehand and about friends of the show. They've been on the show before, and somebody had one too many cocktails and probably did not a very smart thing. He probably felt like, and I'm going to tell you this honestly. This is not new to me. I've seen this many, many times. And when I worked in clubs, whenever somebody got kicked out of a club, whenever someone got kicked out of clubs, they didn't feel it was fair or anything else like that. Oftentimes, we got called Nazis. We did, or and the people who were kicking out, they would throw out the Nazi salute because they felt that we were being totalitarianism, being you know tight, being too much of the corporation. When in fact all we were doing is just looking out for their best interests. You're drunk. You need to go. You need to go walk it off. And no, I'm not going to take personally that you threw up the Nazi salute in my face, because a lot of those people I knew, I've known them for years, and they've never once indicated they have sympathies toward Nazis or fascism in general. They're just drunk, um, and that's what they did. Now I've been more concerned that they would have walked up there and started yelling, if they started yelling 88 or Hitler's birthday or the first day of the Holocaust. I'd be more concerned if they're chanting that, because that means they've had some indoctrination. But no, they're just drunk and they're upset. They think that we were trying to be, too tight on them. So you have to really consider how it happens, what it happens, and who it happens to. Um, so I feel bad because this band has suddenly caught a big backlash over that one gesture. Uh, whereas Elon Musk, when he did it, oh, we know damn well what that was all about. We know where his heart was at. Um, but again, it's like go back to the '50s, go back to the McCarthy years when if you were hanging out with the wrong person, or you could even request information. There's a whole bunch of things that people would they would and live in their lives that they would reach out and be seen with maybe going to a meeting that they got invited to, maybe got literature in the mail, and it was communist based. You could get blacklisted for that. Ricky's here. We're not going to talk about this during Ricky's visit, but I just want to let this band know that I'll be reaching out to them and talking to them, and if they want to come on to the show and explain their side, they have a platform. But right now, I just want to get this. I just want to get scared. Oh shit!
Patrick, my friend, how are we?
There he is. It's just God damn it, we are gonna chew it a little bit because like I said before you got here, man, I have really enjoyed our conversations that have really it's evolved. It's like now, it's like we laugh a lot, we talk a lot, we joke a lot. I mean, sure you're sick and tired of seeing cats, but over the last 6 months, as our country has gone downhill, you and I have started talking more and more about more and more serious discussions.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and I sent you, like you're one of the few people that understand this. Like I said, I don't follow the mainstream news. I don't follow that. I read journals. I read military journals, and
Mhm.
I keep sending you all that stuff out there, and you're like, I didn't know this was going on. It's just
No,
arms
it's the same in
enough
this country,
wrong.
Patrick. It's exactly
Yeah.
the same in this country.
You can see how the world goes around based on how much military equipment is being sold around the world. You can you
Yeah,
can you can you can follow it without anything else. You don't have to watch the corporate media. Um, you can there's a lot of different ways you can follow what's going on without getting wrapped up.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and as I guess if things get a little bit tighter, man, I'm actually sort of not, I'm not really, I guess I'm sort of surprised that we had a band come on here last year. Um, and the husband and wife, they had immigrated from Russia.
I think I
So,
saw that.
yeah, they're very nice people
Mm.
and great band and everything else. So what happens, I just heard this right before you got here. I mean, right before here. The husband of the lead singer, he had a few too many. The bar tossed him out. And believe me, I tossed out plenty of my friends in the clubs. It happens. And I guess when he walked out, he threw out the Nazi arm salute. Not probably the smartest thing, but he's drunk. He's angry. And he feels like they're probably being they're being tight ass with him.
Yeah,
But what happens is because his wife happens to be in the band, and this is, all of a sudden now it's all of a sudden it's the cool thing to jump on these guys. They're jumping on them. They're like they're canceling shows, or they're talking shit about them on social media. And
Mhm.
I asked the guy who sent it to me. I said, "How long have you known them? How long have they played Chicago? Years." So let me get this right. A band that they have come out and supported and known for 20 years or more, or 15 years, or 10 years, whatever it may be. Are you going to tell me in all those years that you watched this band play, you supported this band, and you never heard him say a single goddamn word about being a fascist or being a sympathizer?
Yeah,
The guy goes out there with one ill-advised salute.
yeah.
Now are you going to bury him?
No, it's wrong. It's cancel culture, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't personally do the Nazi salute.
Fuck,
You know what I
no,
mean?
no.
But if I did, it
Um,
wouldn't make me a Nazi. That's for sure.
no. People who tend to be right wing sympathizers, and we know there's a few in our community. To tell you the truth, I know there's a few. I know there's a few that I see here a lot, and I know who they are, and I know what they believe in. But
Hmm.
I'm not going to go out there and blow them up in front of anybody. I just
I
know who
think
they are.
I
You
think at the
know,
end of the day, politics is always divided. And you know, if somebody's right wing, somebody's left wing, it's good to talk opinions. It doesn't mean you've got to start hating people and this, that, and the other. But I might disagree with somebody who's got a different political opinion than me, but I'm not going to fall out with anybody over it.
no, I mean, you're gonna know. The thing is, though, you're gonna know way before they show their colors. You're gonna know their colors. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
If
Like
somebody,
I
if somebody's
I
some sort
I
of
know.
neo-Nazi, then I wouldn't want to know them. Obviously, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I've had that too. I've had guys who I've known I worked with, and they showed neo fascist tendencies, and I cut them off. I
Yeah.
just know. How hard is it to actually pick up a damn history book? There's this one guy, and you're gonna laugh about this one. He's a reseller. He goes to my library with me every Tuesday, and he buys military books for his website. He has a Amazon website.
Yeah.
He goes there and buys all the World War II stuff and everything.
Hmm.
The guy's a neo-fascist. He makes almost no bones about it. He makes he doesn't make it. He doesn't really try to hide it. He you
Yeah.
can hear it in post, and it's like I just find it ironic and so funny that he does that. He says, you got damn history in your hands. Why are
Hmm.
you ignoring? Why are you? I
Yeah.
mean, it, that boggles my mind more than anything else.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
but but we're here because, man, your career. God, can you imagine last year at this time that you'd be here, we'd be here, you and I be talking, you as an actor, or me talking to you about your films.
Uh,
I
it's
would have thought it'd been
it,
still you and Pablo trying not to kill yourselves, in your backyard.
yeah. I
But
mean, but that's how it all started. That's how I got out there.
yeah,
It's
um,
it's YouTube. That's how I got noticed.
you do know that even if I had a chance to go over and say hi to you over in the UK, you do know I'm still scared shitless to go over there, right? I, you know what? I still don't trust your wife. I still think your wife would be. Oh, so this is the mate that told you to eat all those chilies. Come in here. I got something to talk to you about.
I don't think so. When I do it, she just shakes her head and walks off. It's like, not again, not again.
No,
What is he
no.
doing now?
Well, luckily, you haven't done anything zany like that lately. Uh,
No, I'm,
and of course, your brother is here, Gareth. Is Ricky back from
admin,
making movies in
admin.
Bangkok?
Can
And
somebody get
Jeff is
get rid
here.
of him?
Oh, and Jeff is here as well. Uh, uh, Jeff is super cool, isn't he? Man, I
Yeah.
like I like him. He's a really great guy. I'm still waiting for Garrett to invite me back to one of those watch parties. I haven't been there since we did Sahara. Of course, I guess. Yeah, yeah. I actually volunteered for that. He says, "Well, have you ever seen Sahara before? Would you like to do that?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I love Sahara." Now,
Somebody's got to.
if it was point break, I might go, well, Garrett, maybe, but there's been so many great movies. There's been so many great movies that's come out between your movie last year,
Mhm.
One Night Meadow, which was that's a banger. Uh,
Yeah.
who knew? I honestly, I did not know when I first saw it. I did not know what to expect. I'm like, okay, so this is either going to be really, really bad or it's going to be really, really good. I already
I'm
knew it was
hoping
gonna
we
be,
got
I,
middle
I knew it was
ground.
gonna, I knew it was. Though, what tilted it toward the good side though was that she had Danny. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Danny's works before, and I knew that he had a capable voice. A good actor, a good scene partner.
Mhm.
Um, and then all of a sudden, now we're doing a second movie, and you told me that Chris Annabelle is working with who's Angelina Jolie, right?
He was working with Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, well, aren't they twins?
Possibly. Who
It,
knows?
Kate, who does not love Kate Beckinsale? Her Instagram page is so damn cute. Um,
Mhm.
she is really darling. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people worry about her, but I think she's really I think she's terribly sweet. So
Yeah.
Chris got to work with Kate Beckinsale. Did you
Yep.
do you think a year ago we'd be sitting here talking about that? Like you're getting ready to do more movies. He's over there working with an A-lister. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's
strange for a kid,
very
right?
strange. Yeah. Yeah. But as I say, I mean, this is Chris's second movie now. And I think you'll notice a difference. It's an anthology film, so there's three stories in one. And I think you'll notice he's sort of progressed as a director as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing it myself because I've not seen much of it at the moment. It's all very hush hush.
Voss is here, man.
Vast man,
I
long
have not
time
seen
no
Voss in
see.
months. I have not seen him in months.
No, no, I haven't.
No,
Well,
I
I've not
think the
been on
last time
YouTube much, but
yeah, I was gonna say I think the last time I saw Voss was maybe like a couple of months after he hit that big score. He hit that big score from the charity shop. He got like I think he got
25p.
I think he got like 15,000 movies for like £6 or something
Yep,
like
yep.
that.
Only
Yeah.
5p. Remember, only 5p.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was amazing. That's still been the biggest haul I've seen anybody get.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I says, yeah, missed you guys been a minute. No doubt, man. Yeah, you got to tell us where you've been. Well, that's cool. Well, at least we know that you're still following us. Um, so yeah, so last time you and I talked, and you did One Night Rental. Um,
Mhm.
I thought that was really cool that Gareth went out there and watched it with you.
Yeah,
I thought that
yeah,
was really that I thought that was really fun.
that
Um,
was good.
yeah. Um, in case you guys don't really, I know you guys see them and you think that they're the most bitterest of enemies. You could not be more wrong.
I
Um,
love Gary.
yeah, I do think after I always, you know what, I always think about you and Pablo and him. Like, God, could you imagine what would happen if all three of you guys got together?
Gareth would probably wind up chained to a lamppost somewhere with no clothes on.
What would that be? What's that thing? Pax Britannica or something like that? All hail Britain. Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. Uh,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about what's been happening for you. I did see Kelly's movie that she did on Manchester Street. I
Oh,
did see
Mansfield Street.
Mansfield Street, and you're in the second one, right?
Um, no, there's a company called Mansfield Dark Productions, and they made a film called The House on Mansfield Street, and I love that film. And then they made a film called a few more sort of found footage horror films. And then that's when I put Kelly in touch with Richard Mansfield, the director, and she made one of his found footage films. I spoke to Richard and said, "Can I have a few details about the house on Mansfield Street, the original? Because I love it. I think it's a brilliant film. Because I wanted to do a review of it on YouTube." And I spoke to him. He gave me some details. I did the review. He loved it, and he asked me to be in the sequel, which was an honor because I love the original. And that was it. That's how it all sort of started. And yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really interesting. And hi, Jamie, how are you? In
It's
fact,
actually
I think I actually believe Jamie was in one of these movies. But there's this Canadian filmmaker named Brandon Rhines, and he made he started a found footage franchise called I'm Haunted.
yeah.
Holy, it's so much fun. I think the key to the key to a good found footage film is get rid of the people. Get one
Hmm.
person. Like
Yeah.
Kelly. Like we're just following Kelly.
Hmm.
And couple of people coming in off the side, but
Yeah.
overall, it's just Kelly. And with I'm Haunted, it's Elizabeth Chamberlain, and you watch her for the first film. It's just a tour de force of just one actress with a few minutes from others, but it
Yeah.
really is her movie.
Hmm.
And I thought that when I'm watching Kelly's movie, I was thinking, yeah, this is the movie that you told me about. And she didn't. She hadn't. She said she had forgotten to send it to me. So so I went ahead and watched it, and the first thing I struck my mind was this is just as good as I'm Haunted. And I love the fact of the idea for especially for a found footage film, because that's got to be one of the hardest genres to watch because it's so predictable. You
Yeah.
know, the trick is to actually make it really different. Um,
Hmm.
and it's hard to do. And I think more directors are. I think they're realizing that the genre is still vital,
Yeah.
but but they have to limit the cast. You have to make the cast smaller, like to
Hmm.
one person. I
Yeah.
think it adds a lot to the fear factor.
Yeah,
And
definitely. I mean, I'm a sucker for found footage horrors, but you've got to wade through a lot of crap before you get to that diamond, and there's some really good ones. The thing is, a lot of first-time filmmakers do found footage because it's an affordable way of making a film as well. Um, so you do have to go through some crap to get some diamonds.
I think I froze here.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's see. All right. Am I back? All right. Yeah, I froze. Sorry about that.
no
Let's
worries.
see. Yeah. So you contact is that's pretty cool though too. Had you met him before, Richard Mansfield? Had you
Never met
talked
him.
about him at all
No,
before
I
you?
just I messaged him on Instagram. Um, Said, I love your movie. I'm going to do a review of it, try and put it out there. Can you give me some details? And it cost him £300 to make, which is, well, nothing. Um,
Right.
and he made it with GoPros and cameras, phone cameras, and it was really effective. And again, it was one person in the film, with a couple of people that have come in for a minute here, a minute there. But other than that, the whole film was just one guy. And it was just really, really simple, really effective.
It really was. It was, even though it really was, and it says a lot to Kelly's acting. That the fact that we Kelly, it's Kelly, but yet at the same time, it's not Kelly because you don't know who the character is because she buried
Yeah.
herself. She buried herself in that character so well
Hmm.
that she did such a fantastic job. Now you got to do the sequel. Now I don't. I mean, that we all know that you and are more of an action adventure guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
that's your meat and potatoes. You know, it's not really necessarily horror. Uh, I mean,
Hmm.
look at Night Reno has a couple of horror elements to it, but it was mostly a cops and robbers type gangster type of movie.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh, is horror something? It's horror because you hear about us talk about horror all the time.
Hmm.
But now that you're going to get into it, now you're starting to do some films that are lock into the horror. How do you like the genre now? Has it
I'm,
changed for you at all? Do you
horror,
like?
horror's always been my favorite genre. I love it. But
Is it really your favorite? I
when
mean, 'cause we always talk about the action movies so
I
much.
know, but then when you have a few beers with the lads, you want to talk about Arnold or Sylvester or Van Damme. You don't want to talk about a, a ghosty film you saw. You want to talk about the lads, the action, and get a few beers down you.
That's
You want
right.
to do
That's
the
right.
Arnold
Over the
impressions with
top
your
that
friends.
bitch, right? over the top that bitch.
Yeah.
Of course, I had to slip that in for our good friend Jeff. Yeah, no, I had no idea horror was your favorite. I always thought you were just a king of the action film.
No, I love action, but horror
Oh,
horror's my favorite genre overall.
all right. Well, shit, I truly did not know that. All this time, I no, because every time I've ever seen you around, it's always been around an action film. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk a little bit about that. Yeah, I love you,
Yeah,
Jeff. Man, you're my bro, man. I couldn't get you. I couldn't go without saying that. I'm always giving a hard time about Over the Top.
that is crap film.
I, you're
It
gonna
is. It's
you're
crap.
gonna get me. Oh, you're gonna get me killed. So let's talk a little bit about horror then. So, I mean, let's yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that because when did you get into horror? I mean, because that's and because you said before, like you said, you don't go hang out with the mates and talk about horror, but the British has such a great history in horror films.
Hmm. Yeah.
British film, I mean, it's like, why do you think the modern the British male movie fan, why do you think they sort of like drag their feet about it? I mean, did you ever just
Um,
buy a movie? Did you end up watching most of your horror films by yourself when you were younger, or
yeah. I can remember. I can remember watching A Nightmare on Elm Street when I was about 10 years old, and
oh shit,
I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep for weeks. Um, and then a film called Ghost Watch. Well, it was a program called Ghost Watch in the UK in 1992 came out. Back then, there's 4 channels on TV. So on Halloween night, everybody was glued to a certain channel, and they did this show. It was like a mockumentary, and it was about a haunted house, just a normal house, and the whole nation thought it was real. It fooled everybody, and
oh,
then it got banned because somebody killed themselves after seeing it, and it was like, oh, so they took it off the air, never to be seen again until about 5 years ago when it got released on Blu-ray.
now do you guys still have this? Do you still have the video nasties? Does do you get movies banned still, or is that over with?
I think, yeah, I think the video now. I mean, all the video nasties now have been released, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I Spit on Your Grave, all of that. I mean, Exorcist was one that got banned, didn't it? Well, it did in the
No,
UK. I don't know about the USA.
no, no, no. It played for over a year here in the United States. When it got released to the theater, it stayed in the
Yeah.
theaters for a whole year.
All
Um,
right.
Law says horror and action both get the pulse pounding and the adrenaline going when done right. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course, definitely. But then again, it's different to sit there and tell your mates that you're watching a Van Damme movie where he's kicking butt and breaking necks. It's more easier to go like, yeah, than to sit
Yeah.
there and be scared by horror, by someone losing their head, and then have
Yeah.
then have never look at you and go like, did you get scared? Oh, you puss.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be discovered that they actually get scared. I
Yeah.
I admit it. I've been scared. There's movies that scare the shit out of me before.
I mean,
I I I
I
I have
think
no
with
shame in
horror as
saying,
well, I will be honest, I want to be scared. I want to see a film that transports me back to when I was a kid and scares the living shit out of me. Unfortunately, there's not many out there these days that do that.
yeah, there's a lot of the extreme stuff, but it's like there's some other really good stuff out there too. You just
Yeah.
have to
Well,
be.
I'm not scared by any of the slasher horrors or anything like that. That's just gore, isn't it? The paranormal ones are the ones that scare me, like the
Yeah,
Conjuring film of late.
yeah.
They're really good.
Supernatural horror scares me.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I
again,
mean,
it's what you can't see that's the scariest thing, as
not
opposed to
yeah,
yeah.
not only what you can't see, but what could happen.
Hmm.
You
And
don't get to
again,
actually.
when it's your house that's haunted, your house is supposed to be your safe haven, isn't it? And when there's
Yeah,
something in the house that you can't see that's attacking you, to me, that's a scary concept. So I always love that sort of subgenre of horror films.
it's funny. It's like my wife's been gone for 12 years, and I can still see her once in a while walking through the house.
Mhm.
And it doesn't scare me, or of course, but I do know what I see. I do see
Mhm.
her walk through the house, and I'll speak to what I see,
Mhm. Yeah.
but that's it's the same. You're thinking about that, and you're going like, okay, I know who else is going to believe me when I tell them that. People who do love a good horror movie, their minds are opening up to understand that yeah, there are some super. I mean, the same people that turn around and sit there and laugh at supernatural horror are the same ones that are sitting there saying that can't happen. At the same time, they're the same ones that are sitting there going like, "What's in Area 51?" There's been spaceships in the air. It's like, who's to say that there isn't? Who's to say you both have? But who's to say that we're both right
Yeah.
or both wrong? Um,
Mhm.
so Nightmare on Elm Street, was that your first franchise that you watched that you got scared with? I bet your mom
I
and dad
think
weren't
that
too happy
my
about that.
first taste of real terror was when I saw Poltergeist 2 and I saw Reverend Kane. Fucking hell. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but most people in the mid 40s, like I am now, when they first saw Reverend Kane in that film, that was true terror for me. It really was.
Oh, it's interesting about older films like that. Um, a lot of times we watch a film and we'll hear it talked about. Like for me recently, especially from you guys, I head on over to Voss's channel or Gareth or Jeff's channel, and they're talking action, right? And
Mhm.
it's like I recently rewatched Predator. I haven't seen Predator from start to finish in 20 years, but it feels like I have because these guys have talked
Yeah.
about it so much.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until recently I sat down and rewatched that movie from start to finish.
It's a classic.
It really is. My mind was blown with how good it
Yeah.
really was. That's a macho movie, and it's like I
There's a
can't
lot
say
of testosterone in that film, isn't there?
there's a little bit of it, but there's so much fucking heart in that movie,
Mhm.
and it's a loyalty and friendship and family. It's like, man,
Yeah.
when you don't really think about something like that in an action movie. You think about that in a horror film,
Mhm.
but you don't really think about that in an action movie. I was blown away.
Yeah.
To tell you
Yeah.
the truth. Um,
Predator's
so
brilliant. It's one of Arnold's best.
now, as far as the horror goes, now do you collect it yourself? I mean, do you collect the horror films for
Oh yeah.
yourself? Do you?
Yeah,
Wow,
definitely.
all right.
I mean,
Yeah,
nearly anything I pick up off here. I mean, here we go. What's this? Halloween's, all three of the new ones.
wow, okay.
I mean, just nearly everything on here. It's it's horror. Excuse this one. This should be banned. That's
Which
the Liam Neeson one, The
the
Haunting.
haunting?
Yeah,
That
crap.
wasn't that good, huh? Oh no. Now has the sequel to Mansfield Street, is that out now? I mean, can we watch you in it? And tell us
It's
about the character you play.
I play me. I'm a YouTuber in it.
Okay, so it's a stretch.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I filmed it in this room I'm sat in now and sent it over to Richard, who then incorporated it into the film. So you see a computer screen with me on,
Uh-huh.
and the guy in the film's watching me, and it was a surreal experience. And then when I went to the premiere, um, to see me on a laptop in the cinema in my room that I was just filmed it in, it was like, whoa, it was brilliant. It was really good fun.
I think they should have showed you and Pablo doing that chili challenge. So the poltergeist sit there go like, wait a minute, you want me to fuck with those two guys? Look what they're
Yeah.
doing. Look what they're eating. No,
No,
no, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, I had to be. I was a paranormal debunker who was debunking the events of the first film on YouTube, and then the guy in the second film's watching me on this screen, and he couldn't turn it off. He kept trying to, and I'm still there. And yeah, it was a good experience. That was my first taste of proper sort of film hood before One Night Rental.
Now, was it just you in the room, you and him and the cameraman?
It was
That's
just
hard.
me.
That's hard acting.
Hmm.
That's not easy
Yeah,
to do. Is that when
yeah,
you realized that you knew that you had the skills to act? Like he gave you the confidence to do it?
yeah. I mean, I've always liked sort of performing. I used to do music as well when I was younger. I used to make R&B music back in the 90s. So I've always liked performing. I used to do a bit of stand-up comedy as well in my early 20s, and so I've always liked performing. Um, and again, being a massive film buff as well, I suppose it's every film buff's fan to be in a film. Obviously, this was a mic drop moment for me,
That oh my
having my
gosh.
very own action figure.
That's for about One Night Rental, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. How did he get that made?
That was Chris. It was a present for the main cast of the film. He made a sort of custom made action figure.
That is
Uh,
that is wicked cool.
it is. It's very nice.
Now, how come you're all by yourself? Aren't you supposed to have Danny in there with you?
I don't know. Maybe that's a collector's edition. You could get the double pack. I don't know. Who knows?
No, he did double pack.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. Needs to be a wide box, that way. But
Oh
yeah,
my god.
it was good
Uh,
working with Danny. But I tell you now, working with Lawrence R. Harvey in Serial was
with who?
Lawrence R. Harvey.
Okay.
Uh,
Is that one of the guys in the movie as well?
yeah, the gentleman out of these films.
Oh, okay. Did you get to meet him?
Yeah, yeah, I work with him. Yeah,
Oh, well, so and you said it was hard. It was hard because
he's only very short, and he's a funny looking guy. Um, but I'm a massive fan of the Human Centipede too, and to actually work with the guy who I used to watch on telly 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whenever it was, fell in love with that film, and to actually be in a film with him now is like surreal for me. It really is.
and yeah, I think it would be really interesting to have a chance to work with somebody whose work you admire. I
Yeah.
it is a strange feeling.
Hmm.
You see them and you buy their for me, it would been buying their records. I buy their records and then the chance to put them on a stage. It's like that's
Yeah.
really strange for me. But yeah, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Um,
Really good.
so Chris pretty much knew, right? He pretty much knew that he was going to do the second two night rental. And by the way, if you have not seen that movie is such a love letter to the '80s. It's so
Yeah.
it's so it's a lovely movie in that regard because you guys made it an actual store out of you made an actual store. You put in all those movies. All those movies were real movies. Um, and I think if I'm not mistaken, and Gareth can tell me about this, but I think I hope I don't. This is in all seriousness, but Garrett does that little thing he does with the with the little video store, um, West Wales video store.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
I
still
felt
not
I
too
felt like
sure what
I
that's
felt like
all about.
I felt that was like a sequel to One Night Rentals. Like it was his way of saying, I love that movie. Here's what I'm gonna do because I swear to God he fit. Every time I see that West Wales, I'm going like that's this whole One Night Rental. And it's such a
Yeah.
and I'm really glad for that because that movie really it's gonna be a cult film, I think.
Well, it's
I
won
do. I think
14
it I think
awards
it I
now.
think
So,
I think it'll be a cult film. I always
yeah.
I always turn on it because I want to see if he mentions me. I think he's only mentioned me like one time. But it's really fun
Yeah.
and I enjoy it. It's like, wow, okay. Uh, does it make you feel nostalgic? I mean, when you're sitting there, sitting in the store waiting to go on,
Definitely.
did
Yeah.
it take you back to the days of the '80s?
Very much so. And I think again that the good thing about the video shop was it wasn't just like streaming these days. It was an event. You'd go to the video shop on a Friday night, and you didn't have internet or anything like that to see trailers, and you'd have to read the back of the box to decide what film, and you'd be there for an hour or so at a time trying to choose a film to rent. So it was a real, it was an experience, wasn't it? It was a night out going to the video shop. It really
Yeah.
was.
It used to be that me and Lorianne, we had a Blockbusters a quarter mile from us. And we
Yeah.
go there, like, you want to watch a movie? Okay. So we drive over there, and then go in there, and then I thought I did okay because I can't cut loose because we would rent like 4 movies. We would
Hmm.
rent one movie for me, one movie for her, and then two of us that we could watch together.
Yeah.
But it was so damn hard. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I could pick out my movie real quick, but for her it took longer. And then after a while, she says, then it turns out that I was taking too much time, and she says, why don't you just bring something? I trust you. Bring whatever you think that I'll like.
Yeah.
And so I used to go to the theater, and I think, okay, she'll like this. Then I go ahead and rent it out, take it home, and then hope to hell that she liked it. I did pretty good. I did pretty
Yeah.
good. Um,
Yeah.
Now the store stayed open, right? I think Chris said the store was actually functionable. He had
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
I think he filmed people coming up that thought the store was actually open, like you guys were open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though, that must have been really weird. That must have
Yeah.
been like, no, we're making a movie here. You were shooting a movie because your
Yeah.
store was just absolutely 100% on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Now,
we've got a segment in one of these stories in the next film. It's not 2 night rental, but it's 1 night rental 1.5. So one of the stories in there has got Rob and Chris in the video shop again.
okay. Yeah, so
So
you mentioned about making him. He said he's making it into an anthology. That's hard genre to do, is to do anthology
yeah.
films. It's
Hmm.
how many stories are in it? 3 or 4?
In Serial, I think there's 3, and then there's a wraparound, which is like a mini story, which ties all the 3 together. So, but again, I've only seen the one I'm in. So the other 2 are and the wraparound's a complete mystery to me. I've seen the trailer, but that's it.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Did you notice that on the bigger movies that you've done, have you started to notice how much longer it takes for them to get filmed? Like, how, like before you just get out there and you shoot it, then
Hmm.
wrap it, and you go, now you're hearing cut,
Yeah.
retake, because
Hmm.
because people care more about it.
Yeah.
Me and a friend, we watched this movie last weekend called Killer Kong, and
Hmm.
he said the one movie was made for $300.
Yeah.
I think the movie that I watched with my friend, I think it must have been $25.
But did it
I
work?
mean,
Was it good?
it was absolutely. I was it would be embarrassing for anybody in it. You just felt really bad for everybody that was in it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. The thing with Chris is like I don't mind watching a low budget film. I don't mind watching it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to be. I don't want to have my time wasted. I want someone to actually know what they're doing in making a film.
Yeah.
Um, is that probably the one thing more than anything else about the whole acting experience? Is it the fact that it does take so much time to actually make a decent film good?
Um, I think I'm lucky because I'm just acting in it. I think shooting wise, you're looking at 2-3 weeks max, and then
Hmm.
it's the editing, the putting it all together, the color grading, the sound, all the other rubbish I'm hearing about. You think, Jesus Christ, and I think that's why it takes so long for when you wrap to when it's released, because it's all the technical side of it after that. That's where it comes. But again, On the plus side, when you're filming, if you fluff your lines, cut, go again. So long as you don't keep doing it and you're starting, you can see Chris in the corner of your eye getting stressed and think, oh shit. So you just you keep going. But I mean, I prefer to one take it anyway because I just like to go in and do it. If I keep hearing cut and I've got to do it again, I start thinking too hard about my lines, or and it doesn't feel as natural as it would be if you just go and do it.
Right. I mean, I think there was what do they say? It takes like I think it's like a maximum of 3 or 4 takes, and if you
Yeah,
haven't gotten the shot down by that time, you have to move on. You can't sit there and
yeah,
say, you can't do Kubrick. You can't sit there and
mhm,
do it like we're gonna do it 140 times. Nobody does it.
yeah,
I think most actors is like if you're having trouble with a line or if you have with a scene, I think if you get 3 or 4 chances to do it, if you haven't done
mhm.
it by then, you're not doing it that day. Move on.
And another good thing with Chris as well is he'll say if you fuck up your line, or so long as it's not a key line, just keep going. Or if you miss a line, keep going. Uh, Add an extra line in, keep going. And you work off each other, which is a really good experience as well. Because a lot of the stuff that ends up in the film wasn't in the script as well, so it's always good to sort of ad lib it as you're going. So a lot of stuff in Chris's films wasn't actually in the script. It just sort of, I thought that'd be good, so I'll say it, and then the camera keeps rolling, and that'll be it. And then when we cut, it's like, I love that. That was good. So yeah,
I
it's
think
really
I
good
think I
fun.
think I think improv is like it's so man. I think it's so hard. I think that's so hard to do. But boy, if you can master it, man,
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, I think all the great. It's like I've always mentioned how it's easier for comedians to do dramatic movies more than trained actors to do it because
Hmm.
comedians they can think on their feet. A lot of
Yeah.
actors they can only concentrate on one thing and it's in within their face. Here's
Hmm.
the script. Okay, now improv off that. It's hard
Yeah.
for them to do. A comedian, no problem,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah. I
The
mean,
real
luckily
big
again, there
deal,
is a lot of comedy in this film as well. So
of course.
it
Hello,
was supposed to be a straight up slasher horror.
this one is.
It was supposed to be,
What
but
did
it
he change
it
it to?
can't. It's still got the slasher elements and the horror, but it's comedy again. I think once everybody gets together and starts talking about it, and filming starts, it ends up the comedy takes over again. But it's
Now
quite subtle
let
comedy.
me ask you a question because this is something. This is something I mentioned before about British cinema, and like it seemed like for a long, long time, British horror had no identity. It
Hmm.
had no identity. Like our we had Stephen King and you had Clive Barker, but Clive
Yeah.
Barker really hasn't done anything that much recently, and it seemed like the voice of British horror had faded off um,
Yeah.
until we all of a sudden we started getting those creatures, the fairy tale creatures. They started hitting
Hmm.
the public domain, and now you guys are doing like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. As a dad, you're sitting there going like, you know, I read my kid all these stories, and
Yeah.
then as an actor, you're sitting there going like, but I didn't read them this one.
No, definitely not.
Do you
Yeah.
think that the fairy tales has really given the English independent film community a big boost?
I think so. There was the lower budget and Jack in the Box as well. Um, those films, and I thought they were good. They worked. They really did. I thought it was quite good. So again, there's always been lots of. In fact, I'll tell you one. You might not. The Borderlands.
Oh, is that the one with Is that double? Okay, that's the Borderlands. Because I was wondering if that's the one that came out last summer.
It's I think it was 2010.
Okay, okay.
But it's just had a 101 release on Blu-ray. And it's a found footage horror, but it's really done right, and it gets under your skin as well. So again, I think England has got it had Hammer horror, for God's sake. Come on.
Yeah. Oh God, English horror was so. English horror was for a while there.
Yeah,
During the 60s and the 70s, it was
yeah,
number one. It really was. I don't think it really started losing its grip a little bit until maybe The Exorcist.
yeah.
The Exorcist, maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre. After that, then it seemed like British horror just sort of disappeared off the planet,
Hmm.
compared to America. But
But The Exorcist,
there was a time where the UK owned it.
yeah. I mean, The Exorcist
Hey
even
Mike, how
now
are
is
you?
still.
See, the Beatles says Borderlands is amazing. I have to see about that one. I
Yeah.
saw the Borderlands that came out last year.
Hmm.
Um, the it's not called Borderlands in America. Is that the one with Terry Gilliam? Did he wrote that?
Don't think so. No, no, I don't think so. Can't even bloody read it.
I think Terry Gilliam did a movie that was called Borderlands.
No, it's Elliot somebody or other.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's a really good film.
Um, yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier about found footage film. I was talking with another friend of mine, and and I think we were talking about it yesterday too. Yeah, yesterday we're off camera. We are talking about found footage films, and I tell you what, I mean, when they're done when they're done, they can be so effective. Like I said, they
Hmm.
really can be. But it's done
Yeah.
sometimes when they don't they don't do it. It becomes really bad. Like
Yeah.
I finally saw Lake Mungo. I saw Lake Mungo first time I've seen it, and
I've never seen it.
I I just didn't get it. I was like, I don't understand it. There's no creature. There's no nothing. There's like one scene, and that's it. Oops. Ah, well, strange. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you, but you froze.
Yeah, okay. There we go. Oh, strange.
There you go.
That was probably Lake Mungo's revenge on me. No, but I watched that. I watched Lake Mungo. I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
You ever watch a movie like that? And just like I don't get it. Like do you imagine yourself playing a part in a horror movie? And
I'm gonna show something that might ruffle a few feathers.
nice.
I didn't get this.
You did get that, or did you?
I
Or
didn't.
did you?
I didn't
Oh,
get it.
okay. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I hate that movie.
Yeah.
I hated that one. I hated that movie. That's as everything. There's everything wrong with the director that gets overpowered by their cast,
Hmm.
because that does happen, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and have you to see? Steve mentioned there's a Borderlands movie. Um, yeah, for the video game. Yep, I like that. But no, Hereditary. Honest to God, I didn't get it either.
I thought.
I never got all the hype about it. I thought it was
Yeah.
terrible.
It was entertaining, but it finished and it left me just scratching my head, thinking, "What have I just actually watched?
I
What's
thought
just
it was
gone on?"
I thought it was a waste of talent.
Hmm.
I thought Tony Collette was acting like Al Pacino, you know, like
Yeah.
like a devil's
Overacting.
advocate. Like a devil.
Yeah.
Imagine Tony Collette doing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I just Gabriel Byrne. He's a great actor.
Hmm.
He didn't get anything to do. I mean,
Yeah.
the one part with the girl not getting her head knocked off. That was the only moment that I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
The rest of the time, it was just garbage.
Yeah.
I never understood it. It's like,
There's another one, The Babadook. Have you seen the Babadook?
I have that copy of that, and I know that the kid screams throughout the whole movie, and I
Yeah.
know that off puts it. I've heard someone actually told me to plug my ears just to watch the movie with them. He says
Yeah.
that way you don't get distracted by it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, but no, I've heard, it's hard, right? It's hard to. I like the part, the part about the directing, working for a first time director. I mean, you knew working with Chris. Chris is very capable. I mean,
Hmm.
he knew exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
The director you worked with for Mansfield, he
Yeah.
knew exactly what he wanted. That's got to make you as an actor. That's got to make you just feel absolutely 100% spot on, confident.
Yeah. I mean, I did another film called If This Is It, where I had a very minuscule part in. Um, and that was tedious because the one scene I was in, it took a whole afternoon to film, just going again, going again, and you think, I love working with Chris. It's just breakneck speed. It's just so quick. It
You
just
know,
doesn't get tedious.
do you think it? Do you think it? Do you just act better without thinking about it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you read your script, you read your line,
Hmm.
you put it down, and you're ready to roll. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that. I don't understand the part about waiting around a whole afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Do you expect your actor to come up after sitting on stage off to the side for 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours, and then you expect him to come out there and deliver? That's a
Yeah.
lot to ask for anybody.
Hmm. But I
And
mean, to be fair, all Danny's scenes in One Night Rental were filmed in one day. So all the scenes of her throughout the film were done in the one day.
really,
Um, yeah, so it was
she's
just
a
a quick
she's a
bang, bang,
professional.
bang.
She's a professional. I mean, during the time where you filmed the first one and went back and filmed the second one, I'm sure you got a lot of people asking you about work. What was it like working with her?
Yeah,
I mean, were you surprised to see just how good she really was?
yeah, definitely. I mean, I, I don't want to sound horrible, but I think I stereotyped her a bit. I thought she would be something that she wasn't. So when I actually met her, I thought, wow, she's a really nice woman. She really was. I assumed she was going to be a bit of a diva, but she wasn't. She was really laid back.
Yeah,
Um, and
she was
she
one of
sort
my.
of made everybody else laid back as well around her, which was good.
She was actually one of my funnest people to talk to. I was
Hmm.
so impressed with how poised she was.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm pretty sure she's heard a lot of comments, because being a screen queen and all that.
yeah.
But I mean, she handled herself elegantly, and
Hmm.
she was a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Hey Jeff, how are you? How are you? Let's see. Oh, the fifth, fifth Beatle hates the Babadook. Yeah, a lot of people did not like the Babadook because of that kid.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I have yet to put it on because of that. Um,
Hmm.
I know that, but I also know too that was important that the kid was screaming like he was too.
Yeah.
Uh, here's actor Jeff Clark Jr., fellow thespian. Um, uh, Thank you so much. You too, Jeff. I can't wait to see. I am really hopeful that your part on Law and Order it gets expanded. That's if you can get on a Dick Wolf show, that'd be magic. That would be absolute magic. Jeff's going to be playing a police officer in the Law and Order show.
Oh
Um,
wow, is it the one with Ice T?
I think he's doing the mothership. He's doing the original one.
Okay.
Um, oh, is a SUV is it a SUV or are you on the original one? I know Ice T. If anybody would have told me that Ice T would still be playing a cop on that show 20 years later, I would.
Yeah.
My chances of winning the lottery were greater. Oh, he's
Yeah.
on the original. He's on the original one.
Nah.
Like, now let's talk a little bit about British TV a little bit.
Mhm.
I've just been getting into it lately. I haven't had too much exposure in the last 20 years or so, but lately I've been getting some shows through the library.
Yep.
Um, Man, You guys have some great. You guys have great TV.
Did you watch
What
Cracker?
I have Cracker. I have the entire series and the
Yeah.
movie. Um,
Wow.
when you asked me that, I was watching the Last Detective,
Mhm.
then I picked up another one called Agatha Raisin.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is like Jesus Christ, they know how to write over there. The writing in Great Britain as far as mystery shows is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. You got yeah. Because if over
Yeah.
here in America, you could watch the show and instantly know who the killer is within the first 10 minutes. With the British
You
one,
had Columbo.
and the British ones, I don't know who does it until the very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great writing.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
see, and just saying he has not been on SUV yet. Hopefully, this character will stick. Um,
Fingers crossed for you, mate.
yeah, and oh, you see, yeah, see, so you're in somebody's radar. That is awesome, right there, Jeff. So he's done the original one. He's doing the original one tonight, and he did the
Excellent.
organized crime one last year, but he hasn't been on SUV yet. Well, hopefully you won't be on SUV until you're on a crossover, because that means you'll be cast in the show. That would be
Keep my
awesome.
fingers crossed for you, Jeff.
Yeah, that would be very, very exciting.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, British TV is. I can't believe how strong it is. Now, have you started auditioning now?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
No.
Do you feel confident in doing it, or you just want to get a couple more
Um,
movies underneath your belt?
yeah. I mean, at the moment, if somebody offers me a part, I'll read the script and say, "Let's go." There's very little money involved. It's normally just traveling and food. Um, so, of course, I've got a full-time job as well. I've got a family, so I don't really want to be one of these who's traveling all around the country to audition for the part in a shoe commercial or something like that. I'd rather be just being me, and if the opportunities arise, then yeah, I'm going to take them. But
Well,
at the moment,
do the commercial though.
no.
If
Say
they
again.
come up, yeah, if they come up to you and they want you to do a commercial, do that, because
Yeah,
you'll get paid more for doing a commercial than you would for a movie.
yeah, probably.
I've been posting all the success that people have been having this week inside the group. Uh, 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 Jeff and Brian Dodds and Mike Markoff. It's great when I see you guys are when I see one of you guys have been on the show, and I see you guys are out there doing it, making it happen for yourselves. It's
Hmm.
really satisfying to see.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I love it. I think it's so cool. Um, and But as far as that goes, yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know. I think maybe I drank too much coffee too fast. So what about your wife? Does she is she understanding about this? Like, just when did she start realizing that you're taking this seriously, that you just weren't doing this just for content for YouTube? Like you're like, I'm seriously want to do this. I want to act.
Yeah, I mean,
What was your reaction? I mean, compared to you did the first movie, it's like, okay, so he got that out of the system.
mhm,
But what was the reaction like when all of a sudden you got another part and then another part?
yeah.
Did she realize that you're in this for the long run?
Um, I think so. Yeah. I mean, at the moment, she's just my wife's very laid back, and she's just, if that's what you want to do, do it. And
Uh,
I mean, she was really chuffed as well when we went to the premiere, and I took my wife along with me as well for one night rental. Um, and again, it's like she said, it's surreal seeing me on the big screen in the cinema. So yeah, it was good. She's she's not as ecstatic as I am about it, put it that way. But it's my dream, isn't it? Not hers. So it's but she's very, very supportive. Um, but no, she's not in the same league as me when I'm saying, yes, I've got a part in a new film.
I think she had to realize that it was something that she had to take seriously. It's like,
Yeah.
so anybody can go out there and do an extra scene, right?
Hmm.
but also all of a sudden you do you're being cast in a main role, for One Night Rental. That's a main role,
Yeah.
and you really haven't done anything to really tell then. It's not on that level, but you go in there and you knock it out of the park. Like, wow, he really can do this. He really is. He really can act. He's
Yeah.
got the. Um, it's got to change the mentality. Like, okay, I believe in it. I believe in what he's doing.
Well,
And I
my
just got
wife
to
just keeps saying that I'm just being me. So
right.
yeah,
Oh my
she
gosh.
you're just being yourself. Well, not really. I don't go around killing people in real life and tying people to chairs and taking electric drills to them. But yeah, she's she's very supportive.
Watching Danny up there with that little saw at the end of the first movie, walking up to it, it was, it's just like
Yeah,
that's so perfect. Um,
yeah.
so so now you're ready. Now you got the anthology film happening.
Hmm.
And, Two Night Rental. Is Chris back in the UK or is he still over
He
here?
is. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, would you have any idea when the when Two Night Rental comes out?
Um, he's put it on the back burner for now. I think he wants to explore because, as I say, he did One Night Rent was his first film, then Serial's his second, and he's got like a segment with the characters from One Night Rental in. I think he wants to move away from that for a bit before he goes back to it, so he can try other things as well. I know he's working on a script now that's supposed to be a straight up comedy as well, with a bit of gore involved as well, because that's he likes the sort of adult humor. um, so yeah, he's got that in the pipeline as well. I've been offered another part two, which I can't actually talk about at the moment, but that should be a lot of fun as well. So I'm going to be busy for the next sort of 6-7 months at least.
That's a good thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's
now,
exciting times for me.
as far as the new movie coming out, it's going to be a whole new cast, whole new director.
Uh, what the Serial?
Yeah. What is Serial? No, Serial, is that the anthology film you're saying?
It is, yeah. That's the Chris Annabelle film. Yeah, yeah,
Wow, I like a good anthology.
yeah. So
When it's done right, an anthology, it can be really good. When it's done wrong, it
yeah.
can be some of the worst. Um,
Well, the way I look at anthologies is if you don't like one of the stories, you haven't got long to wait until the next one comes along.
yeah, that's true. I mean, like it's so weird. It's like there's almost like no middle ground. It's
Mhm.
either all in or it's just dog shit. You know,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
And
always go
hopefully this
so
one's going to be all in.
all in. Yeah, I have great hopes for it because you only have three stories in a wraparound. I think
Mhm.
3 to 4 stories in a wraparound is exactly how much of
Yeah.
it should be. There was a story. There was a story. There was a movie that came out last year called um, "Strange Starlings," and
Mhm.
everybody was talking about that, and then I read the synopsis of it, and they had a story almost like the same line. It was inside of an anthology called Holidays. And it was about these two hitmen they had met on a dating service, and so they're trying to take each other out. They didn't realize the other one was a serial killer. They're
Yeah.
so that was really fun.
Yeah.
Um, Now, what's next for you going forward? Are you going to be coming back to the tube anytime soon, or we pretty much know that, uh, like the old AF? Because I noticed that you changed the name to Rick Mallin on top of it. Is the old AF as we know it, is that gone? Are you gonna? Are you?
No, no. Old AF. I've got my private YouTube account with Rick Mallin. Um, but I've changed the Instagram name to Rick Mallin because I'm using it more for acting as well now as opposed to just YouTube. But I am going to be coming back. I've got a few ideas that I've discussed with Pablo. He's probably going to sit them out and watch me do them. But yeah, there's a couple of things coming up that I want to try as well. And I keep meaning to just come back to YouTube just to chill out with the guys as well, even if it's just doing some live streams and just catching up with people. It'd be great because I've met some really good people on YouTube, like yourself, Pat.
Yeah, it's been awesome meeting you. I mean, I'm totally tickled by the people I've met. I feel really blessed.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
each person I've met is, it just seems to be, makes life really interesting. Like, what are they going to do next? Like, honestly, if someone had came up to me after I watched your first video and said that you've been where you're at now,
Yeah.
I would have said, "No, I saw you, just being tremendously popular as pranksters, but
Hmm.
that's sort of fame goes away, right?"
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of people that have when you first started out with Pablo, the one thing I noticed about you and him is that everything that you did never hurt anybody, never infringed on anybody's rights.
No.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be that. It doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of people are out there trying to exploit people.
Yeah.
They're not,
Yeah.
it's not so much fun anymore, but people are it's like trying to get people mad and then watching them react. It's a
Yeah.
joke, bro. It's a joke. I don't get that kind of humor anymore.
No, I mean that's one thing I found with YouTube. A lot of people just out to run it like a business as opposed to just have fun. And it became a bit toxic as well with certain people, like, playing games, subbing to you and then unsubbing you, and you just think, what are you doing? Why? It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be on YouTube to have fun. Some people do it like they're going to be starting a business, and they think once they hit the 1,000 subs, they've got the golden ticket. They're going to retire and just do YouTube for the rest of the days, and it doesn't work like that. It really
No,
doesn't.
no. Mm-mm. You got to have a lot of people for that.
Hmm.
I, I I was surprised. I mean, but looking back at it, I think you definitely made the right call. And I think
Yeah.
this is just for the long run, and as
Hmm.
far as creativity wise, I think you
Yeah.
made the right call in doing this. Now you and
Yeah,
Pablo,
definitely. And I hope the people that follow me on YouTube understand why I'm not on YouTube much anymore. It's not because I think I'm better than anybody else. I'm just very, very busy at the moment. Um,
do people write to you and ask where you're at?
yeah, I mean, I get people on IG messaging me a lot, seeing how I'm getting on and am I coming back to YouTube. I keep saying yes, and I'll say right next week I'm going to do a video, but then something will come up and it'll be like, damn,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. When you
So
work and like I said, you're a family man, so
yeah.
the family comes first.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I've not turned my back on YouTube. I will be back, but I just don't know what sort of capacity, as it were. I don't know if I'll just be doing some live streams again and just chatting to people.
Um.
But
Oh.
whatever I do, I'll make it fun.
I've lost my streaming mojo the last 12 months. It's hard getting motivated. The only thing I say to what I try to tell people who comment like that, because we hear that a lot among the community. The one thing I would actually sit there and try to say to get your mojo back: take a month off. Take a month off. Unplug everything. Take a month off. Two, when you come back, do something totally different. Don't go back to what you know. Like I want to review action movies. Don't do it. Review comedies. Review food. Do something different. So it'll help you expand. It'll make it more fun and more of a challenge. I think if you come back and you tend to do the same thing, like that's part of the problem I have too. I have to be really sharp about that because it's like I don't want people to look at me and just well, he's doing the same thing all the time.
Yeah. When
Talk
you
shows a
do
little.
film as well, have plenty of this. That way, if nothing else, you've had a good time whilst you're doing it.
Wait a minute, is that
Yeah.
Budweiser? Oh
I'm
God.
sorry, Pat. It is.
You think after all these years that you and I have known each other, I would have got you to get off that damn Budweiser beer. I
Well,
feel
I've
that's
tried the
embarrassing.
piss, and I still prefer the Budweiser.
We need to redo that skit that you did where you made your own beer.
No, no, no,
That,
never again.
you do know that's the second craziest thing that I thought you did. The
What
the
was the
peppers were
first?
the first. The peppers were the first. You and
Yeah,
Pablo.
Yeah.
That will always be number one. That's the funniest thing I ever saw on YouTube. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. I was laughing so hard. Um, how are those?
I still think back
How
to that and laugh my head off.
I have not seen those two. That couple. God, I already forgot that's one thing about YouTube.
Danny and Tony.
Huh?
Danny and
Oh,
Tony.
yeah. How are they doing?
Yeah.
Are
They're
they
okay.
way
They're
gone?
still, yeah, they're still on YouTube. They got rid of separate channels and made their own channel called Movies and Us. So they're still going. Yeah, they've just
Oh,
literally done a video about Auschwitz. They went to Poland and they visited Auschwitz as well. It looked pretty. I don't know if I could do it, but
my
yeah,
wife was there. My wife went there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and she was devastated.
yeah.
Uh,
Just looking
we
at,
had,
because again, Danny and Tony were filming it and looking at the conditions that they were living in, the sort of bunks and oh no, I don't know
we
if I
had
can do it.
Steven Spielberg helped build the Holocaust Museum here in Michigan. I've
Yeah.
been up there 5 or 6 times,
Hmm.
and an actual train car that was used during the Holocaust,
Yeah.
and it's. I feel like I need a refresher course to go
Yeah.
up there. Um, to see, and I read a lot. I've read a lot of the history books and what have you,
Hmm.
and yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I bet they're
Yeah.
devastated. I
Yeah.
think it's almost to the point now where it's like every kid should go. It's not that far away. It's not that far away
Yeah.
from go from there from Great Britain. It's
Yeah.
almost like you would tell every nation to take a trip to those to the camps. Maybe
Yeah.
if
I
you
mean,
see,
it's something I'd like to do because I'm always very interested in history and politics and stuff like that. But then to know that that actually happened and to see where it happened, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to stomach it.
what's really
Just
sad
what?
too, Ricky, is the fact that you know you see today's kids, right? And they're wearing the swastikas and they're doing the salute and all, and you sit there and you go like, do you know how many of our countrymen died?
Hmm. Yeah.
Over 40, almost 50,000 people died in just the Blitz alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you feel those people? How do you feel? How do you think those same people will feel knowing you're walking down there in an attempt to be cool and throwing up the Nazi salute?
All I
I
tell
mean,
these kids is to pick up a history book and read up on what you're actually doing because
yeah.
yeah, yeah, no,
It's got to be it's just got to be such a sobering event to go.
hmm,
And yeah, I always wanted to go to Normandy where D-Day
yeah,
was. It's still been my number one goal when I
hmm,
travel. I want to go to Normandy first,
yeah,
then go to Great Britain and have fish and chips.
yeah. It's overrated, Patrick. Honestly,
Is it really? Okay, well,
yeah.
what God, see, now I'm disappointed. So what are some of the great British dishes? Because I know people make fun of English cooking. I know a lot of people do, but let's be honest, the Brits know how to cook.
Oh yeah, look at Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that guy's a machine.
yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
don't. How many shows does that guy have? He must have. He must. I think that's. I think it's almost like you have to learn how to curse before you. See, I never saw anybody in the kitchen curse like that.
as Marco Pierre White, he was.
I mean, yeah, I've seen some chefs. They've always been really cordial to I've never heard anybody bark at anybody because everybody back there in the kitchen has a knife.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Do you have roast dinners in America? You know where you have your beef, your Yorkshire puddings, your stuffing, your gravy, your veg, your roast potatoes.
What is a Yorkshire pudding?
Yorkshire
Is that
pudding?
no? I've heard the term before, but I mean I don't think it's like chocolate pudding or vanilla pudding. What exactly
No,
is? Okay, yeah,
I
that's
think
what I thought.
it's milk, flour, bit of salt, and then you oven it and it fluffs up, and there you go.
Oh, wow.
You can get big Yorkshire puddings like a bowl, and you put sausage, mashed potato, and gravy in there, and your veg, and you just eat it meal. And yeah, very, very nice.
Who
It
does
comes
who
from
does
Yorkshire in England.
who does most of the cooking in your house? You or your wife?
Me.
I had a feeling about that.
I used to want to be a chef when I was younger.
Okay. Okay.
So I love cooking. I love throwing things together. I did a la carte cookery course as well once. So I like plating up and making everything look nice. And when you get people coming around, because that's the trick. If you make it look nice and present it really well, even if it don't taste that good, they'll eat with their eyes and still say, "Hey, this is good." Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. Uh, uh, so, without getting too much into it, um, what do you see in the next future? What do you think, both for you and Great Britain? What do you think is going to be the rest of 2025? Do you think that anything different's going to happen to your country? Anything, upside down, or do you think we'll get through this okay?
You know, oh, I think anybody in Great Britain will agree with me that the government here are doing a shambolic job. They're just destroying the country. Energy prices have gone up, uh, property value, bills, tax, national insurance for businesses has gone right up, which has caused a lot of businesses to either shut down or move out the country. NHS is on its knees. It's just absolutely horrendous. I can't see it getting any better anytime soon.
No, would Brexit would have helped if you had stayed with the union, or do you think that was a big mistake?
I think Brexit, if it was dealt with properly, could have been really beneficial. Um, but we were still tied in with the EU, which was still bound by their rules and regulations. So what's the point in Brexit if weren't cutting our ties with the rest of Europe and being independent? So it was just everything's just been shambolic. I just really cannot see a way that society is going to come back from this. I really can't.
Is it shocking to hear? Was it shocking to hear our president here talking about warfare with the ally? We're allies with Denmark and Greenland, and yet he's talking like he would take it by force. I mean, is that a bothersome point? I mean,
I mean, on one hand, I respect Trump because he's putting the American people first. But then on the other hand, I know how volatile he is, and nothing would surprise me with that guy. Um, I, but again, we only see certain amounts in the UK of Trump. We've got a problem at the moment, whereas people are being put in prison for something they've wrote on Facebook or something they've said online.
it's happening
They're now
here
being,
too.
yeah,
That's been
yeah.
happening. That's been happening since he took over.
Really? I thought he
Yes.
was relaxing free speech. I
No,
thought
no,
that's what he was all
no,
about.
no. He took.
No?
How about this? So the whole thing about the border, our border, it's smoke and mirrors, right? It's smoke and mirrors. It's really funny. It's in the fact that the only time our border ever matters is when a Democrat's in office. Um, they have never been really serious about that. And the thing about Israel too is like, let me back this up. So they all talk about the border. That's the big thing, is the illegal immigrants. Illegal
Yeah.
immigrants. Okay.
We've got a massive problem in the UK with that too.
We ship through our loose gun laws. They come over here to buy their weapons for down there. They don't. It's not them coming over here with guns. They're coming here to buy guns and take them back down there. So we're basically supplying them their arms.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, we don't have that issue in the UK because, well, you can't get handguns legally anyway. You've got to go on the black market for those. But yeah, guns
no,
completely banned in
here,
this country.
here you don't have to do that. Here you can actually go to a
Yeah.
convention, go to a gun show, you can buy them off of Craigslist. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's so many different ways you can get a gun real quick without waiting for
Mhm.
a 3-day period or 3-day period. Um, so, but the border, like, it's always gets talked about during when a Democrat comes to office, then it becomes an issue. If we had really truly wanted to to control our border and control it and all and forever, Bush could have did that on the day after 9/11. He could
Yeah.
he had a blank check the next day. If he would have walked up there and said, I need $50 billion," Congress would have gave it to him.
Mhm.
I hear
Yeah.
you might have heard one or two. Well, wait a minute, can't. Well, wait a minute. But those people would have been stepped on.
Yeah.
Politically, they would have been stepped on. Well, they
Mhm.
didn't have it for us. We didn't build a border. We didn't build a defense. Our border stayed the same.
Yeah.
It didn't get any better. Um, and during Biden's term and Obama's term, which is really strange, those two presidents, between the two of them, they deported more than the Republicans had. They deported more people underneath their regimes than the Republicans did. There
Wow.
was no. Yes, people don't know that. People don't really.
Mhm.
They're like, really? I said, yes. Um, but now what they're doing is they're shipping. They're putting all these immigrants. They're going, and a lot of them are not. They're not illegals. A lot of them are
Yeah.
naturalized citizens, or they've been here on work visas or educational visas. He's pulling them off the street. One gentleman they claimed that he's a gang member, and they pulled him off the street and said he's a gang member. He wasn't. He wasn't at all. He was like a teacher, or he was not. He was anything but. They shipped
Wow.
him down with no due process. No process. It's just like, you're it. We're putting you on the plane down to San Salvador. No
Mhm.
due. No appearing before the judge. No defense lawyer. Um, even the Supreme Court said, yeah, you can't do that. Well, guess what they told the Supreme Court?
We're doing
Uh,
it.
yeah, we can do that, and we're doing it. They know that he's innocent. The court says,
Mhm.
bring him back. He's innocent. But he's not coming back. He's going to
Yeah.
die now. So no, no, we are in that phase now. We are seeing people being pulled off the street, and this is my fear. This was my greatest fear, because my brother is half Mexican, and
Yeah. Trump's got
he
a
was
thing with
born.
Mexicans, hasn't he? He doesn't like them.
Yeah, he's more. I mean, he looks Mexican, and it's like it was our greatest fear about that. Something, because the last time Trump was in office, he did the same thing, and in fact, he pulled people without due process. He did it in my brother's city, Portland.
Is he still
No,
building the wall around Mexico?
oh yeah, the one that Mexico was supposed to pay for, but never did. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
China did it, didn't they? And you don't see too many Mexicans around there.
Uh, well, you know what though? You know what they do with China is they destabilize. Even China's borders are not. They have destabilization too. I mean, China
Yeah.
has to be. They have a big border. I mean, and our actions against Canada. I mean, that's
Mhm.
an ally. We've had, and look how they're treating Canada. How would you like to be considered our 52nd state?
Well,
We take over Canada for 51, and then we say, you know what? I want to go to Great Britain to make that our 52nd state, because we need the UK for security reasons. And so we decided to come over and take your country, because we take Great Britain out, and honestly, probably about 3 days.
yeah.
It'd probably be about 3 days. Now that's and hearing that, and you laugh at that. You laugh at that because you think about it like that. That's a joke, but it isn't anymore.
No.
It's no, it's absolutely like, it, I mean, them talking about taking over Denmark. I mean, or taking over Greenland.
Yeah.
That's just the French is in there going like, yeah, if you do that, we're gonna fight. We'll fight. We'll go to
Yeah.
war with an ally. And this is what Trump has done.
Mhm.
There's so it's very scary. But you and I, man,
Yeah.
I didn't think we talked about this here, but man, I really enjoyed doing that with you. I enjoy learning from you, from like, there's a lot of things in the Great Britain that we don't know about here.
Yeah.
We don't know,
It,
you know.
I think it's the same. Again, we hear stuff about Trump in the UK, but we don't know what it's like living under Trump, and vice versa. You'll hear stuff about the UK, but again, living here under this sort of regime we've got of a government at the moment, very different things. Especially when I saw Keir Starmer go and meeting Trump, kissing his backside, I just thought, you little snake.
Yeah, it's absolutely it's, and you know, I understand, you know, it really sucks about our situation. Both our situations is,
Hmm.
you know, if
Yeah,
we wanted to get it fixed, if we wanted to get our borders fixed, our immigration problems fixed, it's
yeah.
pretty easy. It's like, tell them to go home. Tell them, you
Turn the
know,
boats
and the
around.
thing is, tell them to go home, and two, quit getting involved in their affairs.
Hmm.
Like, if Syria wants to fight to see who wants to become president, let them
Yeah.
fight it out. Don't give them any weapons. They
Well,
can't fight.
he's
Uh,
Trump's
Go
starting
ahead.
a bit of a ding dong with Iran at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Right. Well, Iran is protected right now by Russia. That's the reason
Yeah.
why they're being bold as they are. They're, you know, and you know that's the reason why we're not doing anything about North Korea, because Russia is getting all those arms from North Korea because he's still fighting in Ukraine. Um, you know, you saw what Trump did to Zelensky on national TV. He was
Yeah.
telling he was blaming him for the war with Russia. He and Trump is the one that allowed it more than anybody else for this first term.
Hmm.
And I said that too. I said, if you want to see what kind of president Trump is, wait till when he's in office, see how he handles Ukraine. He didn't.
Yeah.
He watched the Crimea be annexed and did nothing about it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not doing anything about it now. I mean, here he said, "Well, I could end that war in one phone call." Well, it's only been like 5 months. When are you going to make that call? When's that call
Yeah.
going to be accepted? And then he
Well,
blamed
I've
them
heard he
on
did
national
make a
TV.
call, and Putin turned it down.
Yeah, yeah. Putin's not taking this call. He's
Yeah.
he. If people think that Trump is controlling Putin, it's the other way around. Putin is telling him
Hmm.
what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he made all the Republicans very rich men. All the
Yeah.
politicians, all the congressmen, he made them very rich. This is why it's gone to hell. And so, I mean, look, our democracy got blown up within 6 months.
Hmm.
Everything in the United States has been taken, destroyed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, it's so shocking. It's like both sides allowed it to happen. They're both his fault. Democrats can't sit there and say they can't just sit there and point out Trump and no, we all had a part to play in it.
Yeah. I don't think it matters in America whether it's Democrats or Republicans, whatever. Same as the UK, all politicians are complete
Yeah,
weasel, all of them.
yeah. I mean, I've known a lot of we were talking about this a little bit before about knowing people who are who vote politically one way or the other. It's really in a way it's one of those things where it's shockingly sad, at the same time hopeful, is when all of a sudden the Republicans, here they are, they voted for Trump after all these promises,
Hmm.
and now watching them lose their jobs, watching the prices go sky high with all these tariffs,
Yeah.
that we're going to have to pay for, and all of a sudden now they're realizing that, well, that's not what we voted for, and it's like, well, what does it really matter what you voted for? It doesn't matter now.
Yeah.
You did it. You did it, and now this is what we're reaping what we sowed.
But
And
then, and it amazes me why political parties do that, because they're never going to get in again next if they keep disregarding the voters.
no, I think the last vote that we had, I'm being really serious here. I think the last vote that we had, that's going to be the last Democratic vote we have. We're the voting after this. It's not going to be a party again. People keep on pointing to the midterms, like, wait
Hmm.
till the midterms. We're going to control of the. No, we're not. They got it now. They got it. It won't even be close. It'll be just like it won't even be close. It'll be so one-sided because they control it.
Yeah.
So
You thinking
our
they're going to rig
voting
it?
yeah, our voting process is it's been totally compromised now.
Hmm.
Um, and we're never going to get it back. Not the only way that's going to get it back would be do it by the old-fashioned way. Like punch it out. Count it out hand by hand. But as
Yeah.
far as electronic, no, we're done. How often do you vote? How often do you vote for prime minister? I mean, is
It's
that
normally
like
every
every 4 years?
4.5 years or so, and then you have local elections as well, which is like your council elections, local.
Okay,
Um, and depending on where you live, that's every 2 years, I do believe.
that's MP, right? MP, member of Parliament, right? Parliament
Yeah,
is like your
yeah,
senator. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So again,
And
and I think the more MPs you get from your local elections determines how many people go into the House of Commons, which is as a member of Parliament, which is where you can then have your say and discuss things. It matters to your constituents, as it were. Whether it does any good, I don't think so. But hey ho, it's like a drug, isn't it? Politics. You always watch it, regardless, even if it makes you mad. You still watch it to see what's going on.
I just honestly, every day I'm reading through the journals, watching who's arming what, and it's like, like everybody's talking about how NATO needs to rearm, and it's like, yeah, they do, but only really one country has really been on top of it, and that's been Poland, because they're
Mhm.
scared. They're more scared of anybody. They just got done ordering. They just got done ordering 1,000 tanks. I was
Yep.
going to ask you. I was going to ask you if you wanted me to continue to send you some journal stuff, because I wanted to send it to you, but I wanted to ask you first.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah,
As
because
I
I
say,
mean,
I don't. Whatever side of political spectrum anybody's on, whether it goes with what I believe in or what it doesn't, I always like to always show an interest in what's going on around me, whether I like it or not. I
I
always
can
do. I'm
I
always
I would
interested.
I would just like to ask anybody today that's marching on the right side, with the swastikas and the Nazis. I just want to ask them why are they doing that? What do you think? How do you think your voice is going to change anything? I mean, the term history repeats itself. Does that not mean anything to anybody anymore, Ricky?
Let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. That's for sure.
No.
It's bad enough what's going on with Israel and Palestine at the moment. Um, you know, uh, to be fair, I don't think the Jews are ever going to come under threat like that again, because they're ready, aren't they? Basically, they're
No.
not going to tolerate any
No.
sort of
I'm
resistance.
I'm I'm 100% behind them. Whatever they want to do, I'm down with
Yeah.
it, because we owe them. We owe them forever because of
Hmm.
what we did. People don't understand that with Israel. This is, well, why are we supporting them? Why are we supporting them? It's like, again, it's like crack open a history book.
Yeah.
See what happened to the Jews during World War II. They got it worse than anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, well, and Russia and Germany got it too, but that's because they brought it upon themselves. But the Jews
Yeah.
didn't do anything, and we turned them away. We rejected them. Um, we did After the war was over. We didn't let them go home. We put them over there. They didn't ask to go to Palestine. That's not their home. Their homes were
Mhm.
in Europe and in the
Yeah.
United States, and we didn't let them come back home. Where else were they going to go? Well, we'll just put them over
Yeah.
there, and we'll put them over there in Palestine. I mean,
Yeah.
the British used to control Palestine. That was underneath the empire. But
Hmm.
they said, well, we don't have anywhere in Britain to put them. We're not going to put them. We're not going to put them over there. So we're going to put them over
Hmm.
here,
Yeah.
and then and let them fight it out.
Yeah.
No, I totally don't. I don't blame the Jews at all.
Hmm.
I don't. I don't,
I
I
just,
don't
as
blame.
I say, I don't think history will repeat itself, but I don't think it would ever get to that stage where a country would be allowed to do that to a race of people without other countries getting involved and putting a stop to it. I really don't think we'll ever see anything like World War II again.
Well, I don't think we'll have a conventional war next time. I think the next war
No,
we
well,
have,
again, it's not boots on ground anymore so much, is it? It's all done with remote controls and drones and stuff now.
yeah. And I still think it'll probably be tactical nuclear weapons. It'll be small shells like this, like a 40-pound nuclear shell. It won't be. I don't know if it'll ever be like a full out launch. I mean, there's too many people that have too much.
Yeah.
Um, I think the one person that probably closest one to press the button would probably be North Korea. They're the
Well,
ones,
yeah.
but China, thank God that they're next to China, because China's sitting there going like, you ain't pressing that button either, because whatever you do, it's going to affect us.
Hmm.
That's the reason why. That's why he's never done anything in all these years. He postures, but he's like a dog on a leash. He can
Yeah.
bark and he can bark and he can growl, but he can't bite.
But China's a bit temperamental too, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, we got them, and then we got they have their own. Like they have discovered that the Russia is a paper tiger. Russia is a
Mhm.
paper tiger. They got their ass kicked so hard by Ukraine. This
Yeah.
Putin thought his military was all that. They're still getting their ass kicked.
I
The
must
the
admit,
war
when
with
I first
Ukraine,
heard that they're invading Ukraine, I thought it's game over for Ukraine within a matter of hours.
I did too.
I was
I
wrong.
did. I did too. I mean, on
Mhm.
paper, it shouldn't have been more than maybe a couple of months. But
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, they showed them. I mean, they have made Russia bleed for every drop,
Yeah.
every drop. They have bled, and now they have to go back there and ask the North Koreans to bail them out. I mean, and of course, if I'm China, I'm paying attention to that. I'm paying attention, like, well, at least one thing. I mean, because that makes every Russian death in Ukraine, it makes China that much stronger.
Yeah.
No, because China's the
Yeah.
ones sitting there, and they're like, yeah, go ahead and fight, go ahead and fight. And watch them waste their best manpower, their waste, their best planes. So, because it takes years for the rebuild. You don't, it's not like Risk. Oh, my
Hmm.
turn. Okay, I got another 20 armies. No, it's like once you get shot up, you're shot up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's going to take a long time for that to get, for that to recover from that. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, man, we should talk like this we should do this again.
Yeah.
Other
Definitely.
than, yeah, other than the this is great. This is great. I didn't know we get here. I didn't know we go here, but I'm glad we did,
Hmm.
because not everything is a movie, right?
No, no, definitely not. In fact,
Not
the world is a very scary place at the moment.
Right, and I don't mind talking about movies at all. I don't mind talking about it. I don't, but you know what? I also pay attention to what's going on, because, whatever happens over in Europe is going to affect you, all my friends. I think every time I think of something going on like that, Norway or Denmark, I think, or Sweden, I think about all our friends that are there.
Hmm.
It's like I'm concerned. I'm worried. I'm worried.
Yeah.
I don't want us to go to war. I have too many
Hmm.
friends over there. So.
I mean, I don't think Europe will go to war with America. I know Trump's got his gripe with the EU, but I don't think it will go as far as war. I really don't. I hope not. Anyway, I really do.
Well, I mean, the good thing is, that the good thing is that NATO is rearming itself.
Hmm.
If we can somehow survive Trump for 4 years, and you continue to build, yeah,
Yeah.
but you have to continue to rebuild. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
It's the only thing.
Definitely.
It's the only thing to ensure peace is strong arms.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that's going to stop it. I mean, if you have a strong defense, no one's going to come over, because nobody wants to get their nose broken. No one wants that. So
Yeah. It's always a shame that to find peace, you've got to have war. It's
yeah, your prime minister was sitting there saying, "Well, I'm ready to put soldiers in Ukraine." It's like, and see, that's one thing. That's one thing I don't understand. I don't get Americans. It's like, they poke fun over, they ripped Biden for pulling out of Afghanistan.
Hmm.
Why shouldn't he? It's not our war. We wasted
Yeah.
billions and trillions of dollars and got nothing from it. And
Hmm.
same thing with Obama. Obama did nothing when all the Republicans wanted him to do was invade Syria. No,
Yeah.
is the list Zelensky? He's my motherfucking hero because
Yeah.
his countrymen are dying over there, so that our men don't have to die. So we don't have to put men in Ukraine to fight and die. He's doing it
Yeah.
all. His whole country's doing it all.
Hmm.
We're not helping him at all. We're giving him
No.
arms. We're not giving him lies. You know,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
give him some tanks. Sure, give him tanks. Give him as many tanks as you want, as long as no Americans die or no Brits die.
Yeah.
And that's how
I
I look
feel
at
not
it.
even the Klitschko's are fighting in the army over there as well. The boxers,
Yeah,
you just think
both of
they're
them.
all, yeah, they're all very
Yeah,
very patriotic and ready to die for the country. You think, wow, that's a good trait to have, because there's not many people that would, especially when they've got the millions they've got, would want to lay their life down for the country.
yeah. It's funny. It's like they actually had the balls to invade Kursk. They had the
Uh-huh.
balls to invade Kursk. I thought that was like the. I was like that's so slamming right there, because Kursk is basically where Russia broke Germany's back in World War
Yeah.
II. That was the battle that broke Germany, and here he is, and he's going to that same territory and basically telling Putin to fuck off. Now it's your
Yeah.
turn. I think that guy, he's crazy like a fox. But they need to end it. It's like after the war ends. Okay, so let's say tomorrow the war ends. How are they going to where are they going to get the money to rebuild their country? That you're
Honestly,
talking like generations.
I don't think the war will end anytime soon. I think it's going to end up like Iran and Iraq again. It's just going to go on for years and years and years.
Yeah, Iran and Iraq fought for 8 years,
Mm.
and for no winner. They
Yeah.
drawled. Even though
Mm.
on paper Iraq was far superior, because the Iranians had killed off all the Shah's men, all the military men. He killed them
Yeah.
off. He killed them all, and that's why we pushed him. He says, "Yeah, hey, Khomeini killed all the military officers. You could go in there and
Yeah.
take over." And so
Hmm.
he listened to us, went over there and got his ass beat to a standstill.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, I catch you long enough, Mister. Uh, uh, everybody's like wondering, oh, they just lost their shit. But you know what? Look at it this way: they got to see a whole new side of you today,
Absolutely.
right?
I'm
Yeah,
human as well.
yeah. You're human. Yeah, you're a father and a family man. I mean,
Yeah.
and you're a Brit. This is you love your country.
Hmm.
So I mean, this is
Yeah.
probably something they've never seen. They probably both of us. They've never seen. Well, probably more than you than me, because I tend to ramble on a little bit more. But I but I'm saying I'm glad they see this. I hope they listen to it, because then
Yeah.
they see,
Yeah.
what's going on outside of collecting movies.
Hmm.
There's real life that is happening.
Definitely.
So, but we'll, once we'll catch up with you again once you get a couple more movies out on the shelf. Did
Definitely.
Could Chris ever get to release One Night Stand? Did he ever get to release that on DVD? I think he did, right? Didn't he have a few for sale?
Yeah. It's on Amazon as well. I don't know if you can get it in the USA on Amazon.
Okay.
Um, but I know he sort of independently released the DVD and Blu-ray.
I remember.
There was a distribution company in America that had it for sale as
Oh,
well. Scum Video.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know you got a distribution here. Scum
Yeah,
Video.
yeah. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link over.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll put that down in the description box. If people want to buy the movie,
yeah,
they can do that. That'll be cool. That'll be
yeah,
cool, because
definitely.
I know a lot of people ask me about it. Why can't I get my copy? I don't know. I can't. I'm looking for my copy. Uh, I'm not, but I mean, looking for a copy. I'm looking for mine to support. I'm willing to buy it, but speaking of money, it probably costs more money to ship it over here than it would be for me to buy it.
Well, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. So to have it in America as well, it's pretty good that Chris cut that deal.
Mm. Yeah, I miss our video stores. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, my friend. I will let you get out of here to enjoy the rest of your night. That's because
Thank you.
it's already wow, it's late over there.
Yeah,
After
it's
10
10 o'clock.
o'clock. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you get out of here, and then and we'll stay in touch. And if I see anything interesting, I'll send it your way.
Yeah, you take care, my friend. And
All right.
everybody, again, who follows me on YouTube, apologies for being absent. I'm not being big-headed or anything. I'm just mad busy. I will be back, and I will be doing some live streams and catching up with people. So thank you.
My phone is acting really weird today, probably because of what we're talking about. Come on. Like I get frozen. Oh, holy cow, look at that. I'm out of here.
You take care,
I'll
Patrick.
stay in touch with you. Yeah, you too.
I'll speak
Peace.
to you soon, my friend. See you later, mate. Bye.